Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. This is the Transfer Zone where we talk about transfer-related topics. I'm here with Marlie Chillen. I'm here with Anthony as well. And you know what's coming right now? It's that famous intro. Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Transfer Zone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are new to the channel, please do us a massive favor, smash the like, share it if you can, and most importantly, press subscribe. Thank you so much. I'm here with Marlie Chillen, Rio Resident, fellow DJ. How you doing, mate?
Doing well, man. As always, glad to be back. I miss you guys. I miss chatting some football. Looking forward to this.
Rocking the Real Betis shirt as well, mate.
Yes.
Rico Suave. Very good. And we got Bristolian's finest, Anthony, down below there where he likes to be. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I'm good. Been working hard today. Been brilliant. Looking forward to this stream. I'm glad that obviously Cuz is back on. You know, I'd be honest with you, I've missed him.
Absolutely.
Charlie, I've got something to say to you. Is Emo Cachos? Probably you know where I'm getting at. There is Portuguese or something. So
no, it sounded more Japanese, but yes, please do it again.
It did.
It's EU.
Mm-hmm.
U Amo AMO, and is Petos PETIOS.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just got that.
It says hello to everybody in Portuguese, I believe, but you know.
Is that correct, Marlie? Yeah. Can you translate for that for us, for everybody viewing?
I will not. I will not translate that. But message. Yeah, I got it. Good to be. I knew that, but good to be recalled. And it's good that you're learning another language, my man.
Yeah, it's good. I'm a bit rusty, but you know, I'm getting there, cuz, you know.
No, I'm proud of you, my man. As you guys know, like, cousin is already fluent in English and Wookiee. So, you know, like, it's good that he's becoming trilingual. It's good.
It is. Obrigado, Anthony. Obrigado. Okay. We're going to move on to the first subject, which is, of course, a hot topic that everybody's talking about, mainly Spurs and Bayern Munich fans, of course, because they are mostly heavily linked with the player. Harry Kane to stay with Spurs. Guys, starting with you, Marlie, mate, do you think that he ain't going to move, is he? They're offering him around, I think, 400,000 a week to stay. And if he does sign this new deal, it means probably likely that he's not going to be going anywhere else, and that is where he's going to finish his career, especially at his prime anyway. What do you think, mate? You think this is going to happen?
I'm not too sure he's going to be signing a new contract, but
it's been put on the table. That's all I'm saying.
No, I get that. I feel like the most likely scenario is becoming like it's becoming clear that he's going to be staying, and he's going to be leaving on a free. I feel like it's the same thing that's going to be happening to Kylian Mbappe, just because they're too expensive, and the teams that are looking at them are very confident that they will be like they will like to join within a year's time. Still, Harry Kane, because of his playing style, like you could see him thrive for a good couple years still. I know he's 30, right? Maybe 31. But
yeah, I think just maybe turning 30. Yeah.
There you go. Like I can see Harry Kane being like world class when he's 36, 37.
Like a Lewandowski, you know, or
exactly. He's not a runner. He's not someone. He's not extremely physical. So like I feel like he's going to be standing out for a long time. That's why I feel like I used to feel like he was sort of imprisoned at Tottenham because like it's not likely that he's going to be winning any titles. I'm not putting any banter here because I'm an Arsenal fan. Like it's unlikely that Spurs are going to be winning anything. You look at the competition, so it's he was kind of like stuck there. But then again, like you look at his career, it's hard to say that Kane's not the biggest player ever at Spurs, right? Like if he plays another season here, he's gonna be really close, or he's gonna beat the record for highest scorer ever in the Premier League, which is so impressive.
Yeah,
and doing that with a team that's not usually challenging, dude, props. Like he's a legend of the game. You can't take that away from him. So I feel like he stays another season. He goes somewhere where he's probably like guaranteed titles. If he goes to a Bayern, I don't know how much fun that's gonna be for him. Like I don't know. I don't know about English players like that. They're at a certain age already. Like their willingness to learn another language, all of that. Like it's a whole thing. He might end up going to United, which is the only team in England where like I feel like he wouldn't be ruining his relationship with Tottenham, right? Like because he can't go to a London club. Like I don't see him going to a Newcastle because that's not guaranteeing anything for a couple years still. So I feel like he's really comfortable, man. He's gonna run up his contract. He's probably gonna be joining Bayern or I don't know, Real Madrid if Mbappe goes somewhere else, right. or United. He's gonna be paid like huge, like ridiculous amounts of money. And if he hasn't broken the record yet, and he goes to Bayern, nothing stops him from coming back and retiring at Spurs. I'm pretty sure that at 37, if he goes back to Spurs, he's still going to be a starter there. Or if he goes somewhere else in England, like any team with like, I don't know, like some European ambitions, like he can still be playing within 7 years. Like I don't feel like the next contract is his last yet.
Well, it's a funny thing you said about the fact that he's like he's been imprisoned there at Spurs. I think it's a bit of a yin-yang situation because I actually think he imprisoned himself in some certain ways with signing a contract and not having that release clause in his contract, so a club can just literally meet the clause and then away you go. Because you look at it now, he's on his last year of his contract. No one can put in a release clause. Tottenham want at least 100 or over million to even listen to selling him. Bayern Munich are only obviously offering 70 million euros or 75 million euros, which is around 70 million mark.
A lot of money, by the way. Like Spurs should consider that, but I don't think they will.
No, I don't. I think Daniel Levy is a very strong character, isn't he, Anthony? And he knows, possibly with a new manager, with Posto. I'm just going to say Posto. I can't pronounce his name. But with the situation of Spurs going a new direction, Daniel Levy will probably find it hard to be able to replace Harry Kane. So he might just take the hit, do you think, Anthony, and just go, he's going to be on his last year. We'll just have him. We'll keep him here. And then he can go on a free and like, thank you very much.
Do you know what, Matt? I think no matter what contract is signed to Harry Kane, offered to Harry Kane, he will accept it. I can't see him leaving Spurs. Seriously, I can't see him leaving Spurs at all. It's like it's Tottenham's in his blood, basically. He's a good player. I'm not gonna lie about that. He is a good player. In my opinion, I don't think Harry Kane is world class. But there's one reason why I say this.
I want to hear it.
We know as world class players, you win trophies. Harry Kane hasn't really won anything with Tottenham. He wants to stay there and break a record. I think the record he wants to break, is it Alan Shearer's record, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
It's some sort of record. So I think he's there to break Alan Shearer's record. He's there to stay. I don't think he's there to win trophies.
Was Alan Shearer a world-class player?
Yeah, I don't think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, he is a very good player, but he's not world-class because world-class players play for good teams and they win trophies. He's got nothing to show when he looks back. When he retires, he's got nothing to show for when he looks back on his career.
Anthony, let me throw this back at you then. Matt Letizia, was he a world-class player?
No, he was a very good player. He didn't win nothing at Southampton, but when that ball was played to him, magic happened. You know, we 25 goals a season. I think 21 or 22 of those goals would have been outside the box, 18-yard box anyway. But yeah, I don't see Harry Kane. Basically, Harry Kane had the option to leave 2 or 3 seasons ago and play for top teams, whether it was the likes of Man United, Man City, or there again we say Real Madrid.
But he's never really had the option, though, Anthony. He's never chose not to. He's never I think like agree with Marley. Like he's never been able to. Like
I think he was approached, but I think
but you can't. It doesn't matter whether he's approached. If the club don't want to sell him, he can't go. Like he's never been on a free like this right now. He's literally
got Matty, but like he has renewed his contract with Tottenham a couple of times though, so it's not like he was obliged to stay.
Exactly, and this is what I'm saying. He won't leave Tottenham. He won't leave Tottenham.
But because I feel like you're looking at, and of course, like we want to talk about this. We will whenever we get to the new to the next GFAQ. But you get the Rice and the Kane situation. Like it's the 2 possible scenarios. When you're a legend, when you're an icon in the making at a team that's not competitive, you have 2 options. You either take the Francesco Totti route, where he literally never left Roma because he's the biggest idol there, or you say, okay, like I've done my part here. Now I'm going to go try to win trophies. But mate, like I feel like he's already like Harry Kane should be regarded as a legend of the game already. In my opinion,
he will be. He goes down as a legend at Tottenham. There's no questions about it. This is why I'm saying he won't leave Tottenham.
Not just Tottenham, mate. English football.
Well, yeah, English football, yeah. But what I'm saying is he wants to break that record. He's there to stay to break Alan Shearer's record. I think that means more to him than winning trophies.
So, Anthony, let me put it to you another way, just because it might change the way you look at it. So, if he does leave for Bayern Munich, say that does happen and the deal goes through, and he goes and wins trophies like the Bundesliga, where you pretty much know 99.9% he's going to win it. Does that then suddenly make him a world-class player because he's won a Bundesliga in his first year?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got their own different views and opinions on football and that. But that's my views and opinions. I mean, a world-class player is at least got to win 1 trophy in his career. I'm sorry that you've got to. But with the likes of Harry Kane, so like I said, he could have left years ago. He could have won trophies, whether it was at Man City.
Hang on, Anthony. He won the Audi Cup, didn't he, in Asia? Didn't he?
I feel like that's a bit circumstantial. I
know.
If Harry Kane was a Man City academy player, he'd probably be in conversations with, and I hate to say this, but he'd be in conversations with Drogba, with Thierry Henry. Mate, his numbers are crazy.
Yeah,
they're crazy.
I think he will beat Shearer's record. He will do it. But I just feel like,
and doing that
as a professional footballer, for the skill and the quality that he's got, I feel that he would most probably like I keep saying, he would most probably at least want to win 1 trophy in his career, if not maybe 2. But at the minute, Tottenham not doing that. I don't think Tottenham's going to win a trophy next season.
Me neither.
I don't think they are.
But
then again, Harry Kane but Harry Kane is stuck in his own ways. It's like I said, he won't leave Tottenham at all. He'll just stay there until he's broken Alan Shearer's record.
You think maybe he's going to do a kind of what Vardy is at Leicester, stay in 1 more season, trying to get them up. So maybe Harry Kane will try to get them in the Champions League, and then he'll say, "See you later." He makes more money on a free transfer for himself, so maybe that might work out for him. Like you said, Marley, he's still young enough to go till 36, so he could have a good 4-5 years at a different club and possibly win something. So maybe he in my mind, he might stay just this one more year, because if he signs another contract now and doesn't put a release clause in it, I mean, that's it.
Yeah. But still, like I know I'm arguing for the enemy here because he's a Spurs player, but Harry Kane,
Arsenal fan though, Arsenal fan, right?
It's very unlikely that he doesn't become the highest scorer ever. And wherever team you're playing at, even if you're not winning titles, if you're the highest scorer ever at a competition at its most competitive stage ever, I know we've had like great players in the Premier League before, but now you're talking about a league that has like 10 great clubs that have like, out of the 12 best managers in the world, 10 are in the Premier League. Like, you're talking about like the most competitive era of any competition, any football competition ever, perhaps after like 1960s Brazil. And if he becomes the highest scorer ever in this competition, dude, like, it doesn't matter if he doesn't win titles, honestly. Of course, it's nice. It's something good to put in your resume. But as Maddie was saying, you go to Bayern, mate, if I go to Bayern, I'm going to win titles. Like, it's something kind of granted. Like, it's embarrassing if they don't. It's like going to PSG. Like, unless you win the Champions League, it's not like you're doing anything outstanding. So I don't know. I feel like he's comfortable right now.
I think so too. And look, they're offering him, like it says here, 400,000 a week if he chooses to sign a new contract at Spurs rather than a departure. But it's again down to Daniel Levy whether he feels he can replace the player in such short notice, because we've only got a little time left, like 6 weeks or something of the transfer windows. Crazy how fast it's gone. So I don't think they'll be able to replace such a player within that short time. So I think Bayern Munich are pushing their luck with the bids that they're putting in. I think he'll stay another season. Guys, you think the same? What are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be leaving on a free. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he'll be there this season. If he's offered the contract, he might get another year extension. But beyond that, I can't see it being any more after that. So I'm talking around about the 2024-25 season. I think he'd be gone somewhere else.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going to read out some comments. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please smash the like, share, and subscribe if you can. And I've also put a poll in as well. Do you think Harry Kane will leave Spurs this summer? Put it in. Give us your answer, yes or no, if you can. Thank you so much. Right, comments. Here we go. Let's answer a few. Bobby K with the virtual spard and the blue love heart. Thank you, mate, for tuning in. Matthew Bassett, evening all. Big up everyone on the show and in the chat. BX Gunner 81, big up to you, mate. Come home, my boy. He's talking about Harry Kane because obviously, apparently, he was an Arsenal fan when he was a kid. BX Gunner 81 says Kane to Arsenal would be massive. Never going to happen. BX Gunner, never going to happen. Even on a free, it's just not going to happen. Arsenal forever. Big up. I can't see Kane leaving the Premier League. He wants to break Alan Shearer all-time Premier League goals. Guys, you were saying that, weren't you? You completely agree.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if he runs out his contract with Tottenham, and United is the only team that can take him, it really is. Like, you look at it. I mean, you could maybe say Liverpool, but for some reason that doesn't make sense. So
no Chelsea for Pochettino and that link.
He ruins his reputation with Tottenham. Like, if he goes to, if he goes to Arsenal, like they burn the shirts. Yes, like it's a whole ordeal. Like, it's different, but still, like, going to a Chelsea, you're still going to a rival to a London rival. Yeah, and I feel like you're gonna be ruining like a relationship with a fan base that probably sees you. Most Tottenham fans, I'm assuming they see him as the greatest Spurs player of all time. He should be seen that way.
Yeah, he would be up there, definitely. Yeah. Well, he's the all-time goal scorer, isn't he?
Right. So it's so I feel like if he goes somewhere else, if United get a striker now and they're not interested in Harry Kane, there's nothing stopping him from. if he doesn't break the record this season, he needs like 1.5 more season to do that. If he plays 5 years in Germany, he can come back. He can play at who cares where? He could play at a Newcastle. He could go back to Spurs. I'm sure they take him back.
I reckon Inter Miami might lure him in at some point, though, because David Beckham, I'm pretty sure he's already tapped him up a little bit.
No, sure. But he's going to want to break the record at some point. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like he doesn't need to break it before leaving England now.
Well, yeah, he could have this 1 year, get 30 goals, really go for it, get about 30 goals, and then come back and smash it for anybody, really. Like, and I still think you could do it. I agree with you completely. We're going to move on to the next topic as well, people, because we have got a limited time, of course. BXGunner81 says, world class for me isn't solely based on trophies, but talent, quality, and ability to play on the big stages. Agree with that, guys?
Yeah.
I do, but I mean, for me, you've got to put at least the trophy in there as well. So, you know, I understand where he's coming from with that, but I see it differently.
That's fine. Absolutely fine, mate. Anthony, you're cool. I'm glad you're telling it how it is, mate, how you feel. He's broken Greaves and Rooney's record. Shearer's next. Is Vardy world class? Quick answer on this, guys.
Well, you look back on Vardy's career, he's actually won more than Harry Kane. He's won a league and an FA Cup. So, you know, you look at that, he has won trophies. But regarding ability-wise, I'll most probably say Kane is slightly better. But Vardy, yeah, I think Vardy is. You speak to any Leicester City fan, and they most probably would say that he was world class that time that he was playing for them. So,
of course they would.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this one. Is Vardy? Oh, we've done that. Sorry, beg your pardon. I'd give them Balogun, Eddie, and 60 mil for Kane. And he says if Kane leaves now, he can come back at 33 and still do it. Yeah, we completely agree with that. Okay, we're moving on to the next topic. We've done with Harry Kane.
But by the way, that's bad business. Arsenal should not do that. I know it makes no sense. Like Kane wouldn't want that, Spurs wouldn't want that, but that's overpaid. You're talking about like a 130, 140 mil valuation for a 30-year-old that's running out of contract. So no, I disagree with you, my friend.
Put in the comments, battle Marley if you want to. Moving on to the next player, and it's obviously been completed this week, I believe. Alexis McAllister to Liverpool. Liverpool is complete. Anthony, this was your choice, of course. Run with it for us first, mate. What do you think about this signing? World Cup winner, of course, coming from Brighton, having a terrific year there. I think he had more than 100 appearances for Brighton as well. What do you make of this signing, mate? It's good, right?
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, for the money that he signed for him, 35 million, was unbelievable. And it's like what you said, Matt. You touched on there, saying that he was a World Cup winner as well. Obviously, with Argentina, he had an excellent World Cup. You know, I think he scored about 3, maybe 4 goals in that World Cup as well, if I'm not mistaken, from his position in DM. This was the guy. If we couldn't have got Declan Rice, this was the next guy that I wanted. Because I feel he's absolutely brilliant. He basically ticks all the boxes for me in his position. Absolutely brilliant. You know, his tackling is phenomenal, well timed. He gets stuck in. His passing the ball is good as well, and he's got quite a good shot on him as well. So, you know, he has scored some vital goals throughout his career. Obviously, playing for Brighton and both Argentina. So hopefully, I hope he does really good for Liverpool, and I wish him all the best. But I would have loved him at Arsenal.
Yeah, you were kind of looking at him, weren't you, Arsenal?
I think everyone was.
I mean, everybody was, yeah, but you were quite close to getting a deal maybe done, but Liverpool swooped in and he chose them instantly. What do you think the appeal was, Marley, to Liverpool? And I know you might know about McAllister a lot more than most Europeans as well, because he's come from South America, of course.
No,
he might do.
No,
I think you might.
I do not.
But what do you make of this?
I don't think I think Liverpool is the team that showed like true interest, and don't want to sound like a dick here, but I'm pretty sure like whatever big club actually approached him, he'd be interested, because it's a step up. Maybe not a Spurs, maybe not a Chelsea right now, just because of circumstances. But if a big club went in, I'm sure if United was in the race, or if Arsenal was in the race, like he might have chosen Liverpool. Still, it's a huge club. It's a more competitive club than United and Arsenal for a long time now. But I don't think it was the case. I think Liverpool was like the front runner for a while, and they wanted him, they got him. And it's a good player. I'm a big fan of McAllister. He's young, like he could still improve. I don't think he's the guaranteed world-class player that people talk about. Like I feel like people base a lot of it on what, a 1.5, 2 year spell. He's not like, how old's McAllister? Because I could be wrong. I think he's like 23, right? 23, 24.
He's a young, yeah, he's not in his prime yet, at least.
He's young, but he's not like, he's not a youth player. He's not like very young. He's not an up and coming player. He's a reality. He's good. I feel like he's going to do a good job at Liverpool. He's going to be managed by one of the best managers in the world, Klopp, who had a bad season, but I'm sure he's going to be looking forward to like being one of the guys responsible to bringing Liverpool back to where they belong. And yeah, exciting, man. I don't wish him all the best at Liverpool. Definitely don't. I hope he bottles.
I'm with you on that.
I hope he bottles, but I think it's an exciting player. I think it's smart business. It's rare to see that in English football, right? But there was a release clause. They paid it, and they got a player for a bargain price, because 35 million, right? That's not a lot of money. That's for a player of that value. It's
like Brighton, they seem to like doing good business with Liverpool, don't they? Obviously, James Milner's gone the other way recently in the last few days. And, of course, Lallana went there as well, didn't he, from Liverpool? Was there another player from Liverpool that went there?
Didn't those players join for free, though?
Well, look, I mean, it's still, you got to sign a contract to go there, ain't you? I just guess they like each other anyway, the club. No, and maybe they would have said, look.
I think they get along, but if you're running out of contract, then your previous club doesn't have anything to do with your next club.
No, true, but it's just weird how James Milner goes in and McAllister goes out in the same week. Like, it's as if like they went, oh, actually, like, I don't know, like, did Brighton come in and go like, we fancy Milner, and they went, oh, well, we fancy McAllister. Well, look, they fancy McAllister for a very long time. I know it hasn't got necessarily something to do with this deal, but I guess it's easy for both camps to be able to talk to each other if they have to. I don't know if Lallana actually went on a free, but it's kind of like the Southampton thing with Liverpool, you know. But I know I'm really impressed by Brighton. They seem to be able to recover from selling some of their best players. I know Concedo's looking like he might move as well. Are you concerned for Brighton at all for next season? Is the first season in Europe as well, ever?
You're talking to me or cuz?
I am personally.
Yeah.
I am personally. I thought the sale of McAllister obviously is a major blow, because there were some Brighton fans that I knew on streams that didn't want him to go, but they were expecting it. And to say though, if he goes as well, I mean, you've taken pretty much the stem at the middle of your team there, Matt. You know what I'm saying? So you've got two top quality players, and that leaves a massive hole in the middle. So obviously you've got to try and obviously bring in some players that can actually fulfill and do a job there, basically as good as what they were. So I mean, I thought Brighton's really going to struggle, and obviously, you said with them being in Europe, wasn't it?
Yeah, first ever time.
Yeah, so with them being in Europe, I don't feel that they're going to be strong in Europe, but the further they go into that competition, I could just sort of see them gradually going down a few positions in the league. If I was to predict where they would finish, I would most probably say around about 10th this season. They will finish a few places lower than what they did last season.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. You agreeing on that, Marley?
Yes and no, because I feel like 10th is reasonable, just because like you did have a lot of good teams underperform last season. You have a lot of investment coming into a couple of other clubs, so that makes sense. But I'm not too worried about them. McAllister going for 35 million, you could say that that's Brighton's worst business in a long time,
Yeah.
right? Because they sell so well usually. And,
Well, yeah, like Concedo's like about 70 or 80 million worth, right? They're saying. So McAllister to go for 35 million
I
is quite.
think Caicedo is going to be leaving for very close to 100.
Yeah, I think at the minimum it'll be 80 million that they want.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a high price compared to McAllister. That's what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah, I think it's Chelsea who wants him for 80 million, they said, and it is Chelsea, I believe, that wants him.
Yeah, I think Chelsea are the front runners. If Partey goes, I can see Arsenal joining that race hard. But right now, I see Chelsea's like the sole front runner. But the thing is, because I'm assuming McAllister had to have this within his contract, otherwise he wouldn't like sign for them again or something. Because it's bad business to sell this guy for 35, because they've spent most of the money on João Pedro already, right? Who's a good player from Watford. Love the guy, Fluminense Academy player, exciting player, high ceiling as well. You could argue that just as high as McAllister's, but not a reality just yet. Younger, still getting used to English football. So they got Milner as a quick replacement for McAllister. So maybe they have to sell Caicedo for this huge figure, because this way they can probably afford to get like 4-5 players with that money, and with the way they've been doing things recently with this good manager, there's arguments to say that Brighton could be doing better next season than they did last season. I just don't see them finishing higher, because you need a lot of teams to be flopping for that to happen. But I don't know. I feel like things are looking good for Brighton.
Yeah. It's not like they've got an actual main goal scorer up front. I think that's where Brighton sadly lacked as well. I think they would concentrate on who's probably getting a DM in and a striker, someone that can score in goals. And obviously with McAllister leaving, someone that can.
They have someone exciting though.
Defense, eh?
Isn't Evan? It's Evan Ferguson, right? Like the young Irish striker at Brighton. That's highly regarded. I feel like he's off to an exciting
I like
career.
Mitoma as well. Mitoma.
Mitoma's a good, he's a good winger as well. Like,
and
really
guy, is he from?
player.
Is it Colombian player or a Peruvian player?
I think
very young.
The left back. I think the left back.
No, he scored he scored probably the goal of the season last year. If anyone in the
yeah, I remember he scored against Arsenal as well. I forgot his name, but yeah, another. He's not a striker, but another exciting,
very
South
good player. I usually remember his name. Yeah, guys.
They're good. Their scouting is great. Like Brighton are smart in their business. And going for Colombian, Ecuadorian players, that's smart. They're still cheap, because Brazilian players are not cheap anymore. So
it's Julio Enciso.
Enciso, there it is.
Yeah,
good player.
So yeah, I mean, I agree kind of with Anthony, the fact that they're in Europe for the first time. We saw kind of what happened with West Ham, didn't they? They did very well in the Europa, but they didn't do so well. They were in a relegation battle near enough to the end. So it could be a different season for Brighton. They might put all their chips on Europe. They might not do that. They might just get some experience and gain a little bit of money and exposure around Europe for being in that competition, and sort of solely stick to trying to beat what they did last season in the Premier League. It's going to be interesting. De Zerbi's a brilliant manager. Of course, we all know that. He's coming from a very tough job where Graham Potter left, obviously, in Brighton in a very good state, and he's only elevated it further, which just shows you if you can get a manager in who can pick up where someone left off, he's done very well, exceptionally well. Let's read out some comments, and then we're going to move on to the next topic, because we are 35 minutes in. Smash the like, share, subscribe if you can, everybody. Thank you so much. let's read some comments then. Where do we start from? It's gonna just to go back on the Harry Kane thing, but we won't answer it. To argue that point, I'd say look at the last few years and elite players' numbers are turning 30. They still produce. That is correct. That is very true. Look, Leo Messi just won a World Cup. He was in his 30s. There's a ton of talent in South and North America. 100%. The MLS is bringing out some good talent as well. I reckon in the next 5-10 years, you'll see some great players coming out of America. BX Gunner 81, it says he's 23 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so that makes sense. He's still got a few more years until he gets to his prime. Balogun just missed a great chance in front of goal. Rounded the keeper and hit side netting. Hey, big up Static.
Static, mate. How you doing?
Hey, panel. He says the Caicedo rumors say it's definitely around 100 million euros. Yeah, so around
that's what I reckon.
£90 million. I know the first bid was, I think, around 70 to 75 million, but that was quickly turned down. Charlie, I agree. João Pedro did well for Watford. A good signing for Brighton. Yeah, he really did well for Watford. I like Kone from Watford, as well as Everton's Onana for midfield. Depth. Go on in, Marley.
It's like the Taremi rumors. It sort of feels like rumors from a couple years ago. I just feel like Arsenal's gone like one up the level. They're exciting players. They could become that good. I like Onana. He's sure if he came, I'd back him, and I'm sure he'd do a good job like coming from the bench. But I feel like Arsenal's looking at bigger profiles now. That's my thoughts.
He says Enviso.
I think it was a typo. C and V are very close to each other.
Enciso. That's it. Yeah. I'm catching up with you, BX Gunner. My apologies. CONCACAF has a few gems that can be brought in for cheap. Agree with that, Marley?
Depends on the team buying.
Or looking at players like scouting for future reference.
Yeah, I'm sure Johnny BX, like people in America, people that follow like North American football more than I do, could say otherwise. I don't know of any players of this like United Arsenal level coming from there just yet. I'm sure there are. I just don't know them, so I can't say too much.
Okay. That's it for the comments. We're going to move on to the next topic, ladies and gentlemen. And it's I like this topic. I think we could have a good debate on this one. Lukaku dilemma: Chelsea, Inter Milan, or somebody else? What do you think? Because obviously Inter Milan are putting in bids to try and buy him from Chelsea. Of course, he was on loan for last season or two. And they're not accepting the bids that they're giving. And Inter Milan, of course, at this moment financially can't really get up to the standards that probably Chelsea want. They probably want to make some money back for what they had to pay for Lukaku. It was a very high transfer. What do you make of this, Marley? Do you think this is a dilemma for him? Do you think he's going to end off somewhere else maybe and not Inter Milan and not Chelsea? Because at the end of the day, yes, he wants to stay at Inter Milan. He loves the city. His family are happy being there. Clearly wanted to go back from his time at Chelsea where he did that interview and it kind of got all messed up for him. What's going to happen, mate? What's your predictions? Because we can only say that. We can only say it's a prediction because we just don't know what's going to happen here.
This is an interesting one because the short answer now is who cares, right? Because you can see how
we've had him. He's gone from Man United.
How times change. Yeah, like Lukaku, like he was one of the best strikers in the world not too long ago. Now, like he was. I mean, no disrespect. Like I think Inter usually had Martinez and Zico up front. Yeah. Just very respectable lineup, right? Like striker duo. But Lukaku a couple years ago, like he would undoubtedly be starting over these guys. So it's I I don't know. I really like, honestly, I don't care. It's Lukaku's not, it's not going to be the difference maker anymore. I don't believe that if he goes back to Chelsea, he's going to start scoring goals for fun again. Don't think that's a real possibility. It's been a while since he was actually that great. Not too long, but still like long enough, right?
You saw him in the final as well, didn't you? That, I mean, was he? He didn't look that great, really.
No, yeah, he hasn't looked great in a while, and it's, I don't know. I feel like Inter like him enough. They want to keep him, but they're smart enough not to spend too much money on him. Sure, I think they're eventually gonna come to an agreement where he stays at Inter, because like he doesn't want to go to Saudi football, right? Like I feel like that was a possibility that was on the table, but apparently he's not interested quite yet. So if he doesn't want to go, for the money, I think Inter is like the best team in the world that would actually want to keep him. So he just needs to fight for that to actually become a reality. I have no idea how much Chelsea are willing to sell him for. Don't reckon it would be too much. They know like he doesn't have too much value nowadays. Like he was pretty much a bench player this season. So I don't know. I think that's as far as I can go.
You imagine that they're not meeting the requirements, Anthony, of Chelsea's valuation of the player, and then say the Saudi league and go, "We'll have it. We'll take him. We'll give you what you want. We'll give him the wages that he wants." And then Inter Milan lose out, and they they clearly want him because they're putting in bids, but financially they're not in the same position that they were 10 years ago, where they could buy Lukaku.
Yeah, it's pretty like what Kurt said. I can't see him going over to over Saudi and playing. It's like what he said. I don't
Why?
think it. I don't know. I don't think any teams have been. I don't think it's like what Kurt said. It doesn't really interest him. He's happy into Milan. Listen, I feel that if they can cough up enough money to get him, I think obviously that'd be great. If any team would not cough up the money for him, I could see him most probably another season where it'd be him going out on loan again. Most probably. So it's either going to be one of the two. Chelsea's Chelsea's all out for an X amount of millions of pounds. I don't know. Are we talking in a region of what 60, 65 million maybe? I don't know. But that's just a guess. I think it'd still be reasonably high. But I mean,
I think they're offering around 40 million euro, which is around 35 million.
35 million. Well, I think Chelsea most probably want more than that.
Wait, I did the same thing. Like I was talking, and Maddie has it right here, right? Like it's 25 million that they bid, and Chelsea are asking for 40.
So yeah, they're asking for 40. So it's around about 30 million to 35. They're a few million off, but for Inter Milan, a few million is a few million.
No, but I feel like
that's the thing.
I mean, Lukaku eventually, like he's contracted to Chelsea, right? So I'm assuming he's gonna be training. So come the end of the season, if Chelsea doesn't want to keep him, I'm pretty sure the same offer of 25 is gonna do the job.
But
like, I can't. Why wouldn't it?
Think about the wages.
Yeah, I don't think it's about the wages. I think he wants to stay. The wages?
Are they equaling what he's getting at Chelsea? Chelsea are literally probably paying a lot of his wages now at Inter Milan. Are they going to be able to match that?
I don't think it will, Matt. I think Lukaku is still at that. I think he's what is he now? 29 there roundabouts.
Yeah, he's like must be. Yeah, it must be. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? But the amount of time he's been in football, that's crazy that he's still only late 20s.
I still think he wants to compete. And if that means compete, if it means like going on loan or Inter Milan do eventually buy him, I think he wants to compete for a first team.
But what I'm saying is, I understand. Like, I know the bid. Like, even the bid can be accepted, but we don't know Lukaku's mind and his agent's mind, and whether Inter Milan go, yeah, look, we can put a bid in for you, but we can't give you. I don't know what he's on at Chelsea. It's got to be something near enough around 200,000 or over. It has to be, because everybody was wanting him at the time. There's no way Chelsea would have bought him and gone, here, we give you 150 when he was on a lot more at Man United anyway. And because he's been on loan at Inter Milan, it hasn't been a full-time signing. Obviously, they're paying a lot of his wages. So can Inter Milan give him on a wage perspective what he wants?
I think
Probably yes, right? Because they put in an offer.
I mean, if you're paying wages that low, like 35 million, they'll be able to afford that 35 million plus with his wages on top. If I what you said, he's going to be talking around about 250 grand, maybe anywhere.
Well, Martinez must be on what 150, 200k. He's probably the highest paid player. Would you say Martinez probably?
Yeah.
I know. Anana, the goalkeeper, was on 120, and he was one of the top ones. So I'm assuming Martinez would probably be the one that was on the most amount. Yeah. Apart from Lukaku, but he's on loan, isn't he? So it doesn't really count.
Yeah. But you actually said it. You've actually said it yourself, Matt. When you first brought him up, he's enjoying football over there. He's him and his family are loving life over there. So he's more likely he wants to stay over in Italy. Whether it's going to be Inter Milan, he's going to play for, or whoever. But
no. But do you think money can make a difference? Like, he's not on the wages that Inter Milan can promise him. There's no way they can probably, and if they can promise him that, it's not going to be good for them really financially, because they are struggling right now. The stadium's going through a complete rebuild. This is not the same Inter Milan you're talking about when Mourinho won them the Champions League way back when in 2000, the late noughties, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but I feel like Lukaku is very willing to take a pay cut right now. I feel like the fact that he said no to Saudi shows that money is not like the main priority.
Agreed.
Right now. So I don't know. I feel like it's gonna happen one way or the other. I don't see Inter paying more than that, and I don't think they should, because they still, even though I'm pretty sure he's gonna take a pay cut, pretty comfortable saying he's still gonna be one of the best, most highly paid players in Inter. So they got to make way for that wage and all of that. They're going to have to spend more money on him monthly than they did back when he was just a loan. So I wouldn't pay more than that. And I think Chelsea are going to sell eventually. Otherwise, it just becomes like a Nico Pepe, where you just like stay and you stay and you stay and you leave on a free event.
Well, yeah, do you think Pochettino might go, I'll take my chances on Lukaku? I'm a new manager. I ain't got a striker at the moment. I don't even think they're really looking into
after all, like Chelsea only has 63 players in their squad. So yeah, why not just add Lukaku to
what would this be? The third or fourth time he's gone back to Chelsea?
Yeah.
Honestly. It's ridiculous.
It's too much now.
I support it.
To go back to Chelsea.
I don't think I've ever known a player to go back to a club so much. This might be the fourth time. I might be wrong. It definitely is the third, but it might be the fourth. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, we're going to move on from that then. We'll talk. Actually, we've got a few comments here. Tony Claude, you know him, Anthony. Big up, guys. Big up, Tony. You're in Oslo, right? No, he's in Finland, isn't he, Tony?
He's in Finland, yeah. Good guy, Tony Claude. If anyone's here, make sure you click like and subscribe to his channel. This guy is a Gunners from all corners. He's the number one guy that comes on there in a minute. So if he's doing really well on his own channel. But seriously, I really got to thank him, because if it weren't for him, there wouldn't hardly be a Gunners from all corners being streamed, to be honest with you. So big up, Tony.
Big up, Tone, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Smash the like, share, subscribe to anyone who's new to the channel. Thank you so much. BX Gunner 81 says the fact that he rejected the money from Saudi Arabia League shows he's still ambitious to compete, which is exactly what you two guys said. Completely agree. And he said, sending my love to all my people. And BX Gunner's giving a cry. I can't understand what that was for, because it's probably from earlier. We'll replay it later, and then I'll try and figure that out. It's quite good. Okay, last few topics. We're just going to quickly breeze through these. We've got 5 minutes left, and I know Marlie wanted to talk about Andre Trindade from Fluminense. Has interest from Fulham. Did I say that right?
André Trindade. Yeah, I think it was close enough. It was close enough, my man.
You know,
I appreciate the effort. It's kind of brutal for me to try to talk about André in 5 minutes. I'm gonna try my very best. He's he's Fluminense's most exciting player. I've been like, if you've been following Football United TV for a while, like you've heard me mention André a couple times on Steven's channel as well, back when I used to stream with him. Like it's someone I mention a lot. One of my favorite players. I think right now he's sort of like countrywide regarded as the best DM in Brazil. And he's about to turn 22, but he's still like, he's not our captain, but he's, like that captain material player. Man, like you're already looking at a player that if he simply follows the learning curve that a player at his age playing in his position follows, you're looking at a world-class DM that's most likely going to be featuring in Brazil for a long time, like for about a decade or so. And if he improves on his attacking features, if he becomes like slightly more threatening going forward, he becomes like better at shooting, and perhaps working on his temper a little bit, because he does get stressed out a little bit. Don't feel like that would be an issue if he went to England, because he doesn't speak English. So I feel like he'd be a little quieter, but he does have sort of a temper and get the yellow cards every now and then for complaints, and the rare red cards. But amazing player, and like he's the total package for a DM. He's amazingly confident. You're never going to see him just like randomly kick the ball in defense, because he's got the skills, he's got the strength, he's got the passing, he's got the vision to just like take care of it. Even if there's like 4 guys chasing him, it really is ridiculous. You don't see him lose the ball. If he does lose the ball, he will recover it. Sure, that might end up being a foul, but like he's very proud when it comes to that. You can see that, like he hates losing possession, and he makes it damn sure to gain possession back if he does so. He's always averaged over 90% passing accuracy, and he's been playing in Fluminense for a while now. In Fluminense, like it's not often that we don't get 60% possession in a game. So he's often the player that's going to be doing the most passes. He's very comfortable defending. He's used as a CB every now and then, even though he's like 5'10", 5'9.5", but he's very comfortable defending. Mate, he's way better than Fulham. I don't want to sound arrogant here.
There are offers from Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool, not offers, but Liverpool and Barcelona are in two. Interest.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like he's increasing his profile. These teams actually started looking at him back when he wasn't a Brazilian international yet. Now he is. Like he's being called up to the national team. I don't know if you guys know this, but the manager of Fluminense is going to be the manager of the Seleção for a year before Ancelotti takes over. So he's most likely going to play for the Seleção for at least a year now, because he's someone that the manager trusts a lot. He's someone that's been killing it. He kills it every game. He's man of the match like more often than not in Fluminense. Yeah. And mate, I feel like the 20 million offer that's on the table right now from Fulham, Fluminense is not gonna want to sell. Fluminense just made money from João Pedro moving to Brighton. They're gonna make money from Luis Henrique moving somewhere, because we're assuming he's gonna be moving somewhere too. And Fluminense has a lot of assets, and we're actually competing in the competitions we're at right now. And him going to Fulham, where I know they did well last season, but it's still like a lot of uncertainty. It's not a team that is going to be doing well again. They could be fighting relegation. Who knows? So I feel like that wouldn't be smart. But for Fluminense to actually look at the offer, I feel like you'd have to come close to doubling that offer, because the market's changed in Brazil. It has. And now if a club's organized and you're seeing good talent, and mate, like André is not a worse player than Caicedo. If he comes to the Premier League, I'll guarantee you that I'm proven right in 6 months. He's a better player than Caicedo. So a team like Fluminense, who's organized, we're not too dumb anymore, even though we're in massive debt and we need to make money. You look at a player that's not as good as André being sold for nearly 100 million. So Fluminense is probably going to want, even though we're very poor at selling, I feel like this is where Fluminense asks for more than 30 million euros or pounds. And I feel like there's going to be enough interest, man, because he's good, he's modern, he's everything, man. Like he's ready. He's ready for that big break. And Fulham is not that big break. Barcelona, Liverpool, those would be big breaks for him. And I feel like he'd be a starter within a year wherever he went. Wherever. I truly mean that.
To quickly finish up, then we will talk Anthony about Tielemans next time. We will.
Yep.
Just quickly from you, Marlie.
I'm sorry, mate.
Roque to Barcelona.
Yeah. Okay, so this is even more scary because he's younger than André. And Vitor Roque, I was looking at the numbers because I like the eye test. He goes through it easily, right? Like he's short for a striker. He's like 5'8", 5'7", or something, but it doesn't matter. Like at 18 years old, his numbers are ridiculous. He plays in a really good team. They're like, you can call them a big club in Brazil. That's something that people argue over, but they're a good competitive club, Atlético Paranaense. And this guy, you look at the numbers for the state league, he was like 7 goals or assists in 6 games. You go to the Libertadores, it's like 3 goals in 6 games. In the Brasileirão, you have 13 games, like 9 goals or assists. And the Copa do Brasil, like 3 goals or assists in 4 games. The guy's 18. Like he looks to be the next number 9 in Brazil. You can't forget the fact that the competitors for that spot right now are Gabriel Jesus and Richarlison. 2 players that are well liked, but everyone knows that when you're talking about a Brazilian number 9, they're not there, right? Like they're not that caliber of Ronaldo, of Romario. This is finally and it's good that he's coming. Like he's 2 years older than Endrick, right? The guy that's going to Real Madrid when he turns 18. So we're finally getting a crop where we can have that hope again. This guy's unbelievable, man. He's got everything. He's so smart. He's so calm. Like the fact that he does what he does at 18. Like, look, I know it's not usually smart to look at videos, but these two that I just mentioned, André and Vitor Roque, take the time. You're gonna waste like 25, 30 minutes. Take the time to look at them. They're crazy.
Go check
They're crazy. This guy is a ready-made striker at 18, and the prospect is scary. I hope that Barcelona doesn't bury him, right? Because that's always a chance you're taking when you're going to one of the biggest clubs in the world. Because if you don't do really well off the bat, your career might be taking a huge toll. But man, the prospect is just absolutely monstrous.
Brilliant, Marlie. And I'll be looking forward to seeing him at the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona, of course, next season, because they won't be at the Camp Nou, not for a couple of years. That's it, everybody. We are finishing up there. Thank you so much, Marlie and Anthony, for joining us today, of course. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Anthony, please tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, you can find me on my socials on Instagram and Twitter, and my name is Anthony Herbert. You can also find me on here on Match Channel, where we do a show. We're going to be doing the weekend, the football weekend show. We're going to be doing the prediction show straight after. Sorry, the football league weekend show. Then we're going to do the football predictions show straight after, followed by Gunners of All Corners on Friday. Also,
quick, Anthony. Quick.
All right, and also this year I'm thinking about starting a quiz. I've got a name of people. I got a list of people's names, about 30 people. They said that they're interested, so we're going to be doing a quiz. This year.
Cheers, Anthony. Thank you, bro. Marley, quickly,
Right.
we've got 20 seconds.
Well, find me here. This is my home on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at CharlieMilla93. Follow me on Twitter at MarleyChillin. That's it. Thanks for having me back. It's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure, everybody. We'll be back very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Smash the like, share, subscribe. We are just under the hour mark right now. I've done it perfectly. Sorry for rushing everybody.
Maddie's so happy.
I've done it. It's good. Ta-ra, everybody. Take care.